Today I'm going to show you how to make a kick command and a timeout add and remove command for your Discord bot if you've been following along on the rest of the series. So firstly, I've just made this command template just to speed the video up a bit. So this will be for our kick command in the moderation folder. So the name will just be kick. Description will be kick a user from the guild. We want a category moderation, and we want permission flag bits as kick members, DM permission false, cooldown free, dev false, and inside of the options, what we want to do is, like the ban command, we want a target. For the description, put select a user to kick. And for the type, we want application command option type .user. Then required as true. And for the other options, if I just copy and paste this twice, because we want two more options. So let's put reason for kicking this user. We want this as a string, but required as false this time. Then for this last option, we want silent. For the description, don't send a message to the channel, and we want this as a bool. Then also required false. Oh, if I can spell, there we go. So in the execute method, if we just create this, so async execute, and in here we want interaction chat input application command, or interaction, sorry. Then just open our brackets. So first of all, we want to get the target. So interaction.options.getMember, and just target. And we want to cast this as guild member, because it can be nullable, but we don't want it to be nullable. Then next we want to do const reason, and just get the reason. The reason isn't put there by the user doing the command, put no reason was provided, or no reason was given, whatever you like. Next we want to just do the silent option, just like the ban command. So options.getBool, then silent or false. Next, just like the ban command, we want to do the error embed. So just create a new embed builder and set the color to red. And make sure it's embed builder, not embed. Now for our checks, we just want to check if the user is in the guild. So return interaction.reply. And let's use the error embed. And let's just set the description to the regex. Please provide a valid user, why not? And let's close that brackets off and make this epithermal. That's true. If I just copy and paste this. Now for this one, what we want to do is just check if the target ID equals the interaction user ID. And then if it does, we just want to return a reply with you cannot kick yourself. Now for the next check, what we want to do is simply check if the target's roles are higher or equal to the interaction member roles. So we want to do target.roles highest.position. Then we want greater than or equal to, and interaction.member instead of user. We want question mark.roles as guild member role manager. Let's just wrap this in brackets. And do that highest.position. And then if that's true, what we want to do, you cannot kick a user with equal or higher roles.
Just like in the ban command, we also want to do a check if the user's not kickable. So it's just .kickable instead of .bannable. And let's just reply this user cannot be kicked. Now for the last check, we just want to do the reason again. Just like in the ban command, so reason.length is greater than 512 characters. Then let's reply with this reason cannot be longer than 112 characters. Now for the actual kicking of the member. So before we do that, we actually want to just send the member a message. So just do await target. Let's send embed. So let's just create a new embed builder. So first of all, let's set the color to orange. Set the description. Let's just say, well, let's actually put the boot emoji here. So if you just type in boot and select whatever you want, I'm just going to choose the first one. You were kicked from, let's put the guild name here. Then let's put the interaction user. Next, if you would like to appeal, send a message to the moderator who kicked you. Then let's just put the reason below that, just like that. Oh, reason. Oh, it's putting an extra bracket there for some reason. Finally, let's just set the thumbnail to be the target.display avatar URL. And let's just set the size in here to 64. Then on the end of this try, we want to just do a catch and do nothing, because we don't want to do anything if the user has their DMs disabled, because this will error if they do. So now we can actually ban the user, so target.kick, then just put reason. Then in the catch, let's return the interaction. Let's do or use the error embed again. Let's just set the description to an error occurred while trying to kick this user, please try again. And set this to epithermal. Then after the user's been kicked, let's just reply to the interaction and set the color to orange. Set the description to kick target, and let's also put their ID. And let's just close this off and put epithermal as true as well. Now let's do the let's send the message to the actual channel where the user got kicked in. But if the silent option is set to true, we don't want to do it, so let's just check that. And then interaction channel, send, create a new embed. And then set the color to orange. Then let's set the thumbnail again. So I'm just going to copy that so I don't have to retype it out. Set the author to name kick, then just put the user's tag like that. And let's set the description to just reason. Then let's set the timestamp as well. And then just set the footer to the user's ID. So put text and ID and target ID. Then if I just fix the formatting on this quickly. And then after that's been sent, let's just put a reaction on it. Await.x.react.
and let's put the boot emoji. Now the final thing for this command is just sending the log to the log channel, so const guild equals await guild config, and we just want to try find the guild ID, and we want to just check if the guild exists and logs exist and moderation and enabled. Then we want to do this exact same thing for the channel ID. So let's see what, oh, I forgot that I left that bracket in there. So if all of this is true, that means we've got the channel. So if we do await interaction guild channels dot fetch, then we want to fetch the channel ID and cast that as a text channel. And if that exists, what we want to do is just send an embed to that channel. So in the embed, actually I'll format this onto the new line so it looks nicer. So new embed builder. Set the, actually I'll just copy these options because they're very similar. So set the color to orange. Let's set the thumbnail to be full size instead of being 64. Set the author just to kick. And let's set the description to include the user. So put target, and then let's also put the target's ID. I'm going to keep the set timestamp, and instead of putting the ID in the footer, in here what we want to do is just put the moderator who actioned it. So actioned by interaction.user.tag, and then put the ID of the moderator there as well. Then let's just put their profile picture as well, so interaction.user display avatar URL. And that should be everything for the command. So if I now run the bot, so now we've got 4 global commands. So if I now go to Discord and let me just invite the bot. Now the bot's invited, as we can see here. I can now do /kick test. Let's put a reason, random reason. Silent as false, even though we don't have to specify it as false. So if I kick them, so it's replied to our interaction. It sent a message in the channel because we set silent as false, and it sent a message in the log channel, which is this general channel. Now it's also meant to send a message to the person who got kicked, but I have my DMs disabled, so it won't. But that means this try catch here is working properly because we're not getting an error. So if I just try and kick this user again, let's see what happens. Well, let's just put their ID in there instead. See, it will still try and kick them, but if we just try kick them, say please provide valid user, because we have that error set if the target doesn't exist in the guild. So that's all working fine. Now for the timeout command, what we want to do, we want to create 3 new files called timeout.ts. Then we want to do 2 sub command files as well. So we want the timeout add and also timeout remove. Now I'm going to quickly fill out the default template for these to make the video a bit faster. Now I've filled out the default template for the timeout command and the sub commands. So if you're going to just pause the video and copy this, then you also copy this, then copy the timeout remove sub command. So in the actual timeout command, we want to set the name to be timeout, then description to manage timeouts. Then everything else can stay the exact same, except we want to put options. So for the options, just like the bang command, we want to add an add subcommand. Then for the type, you want to just do application option type subcommand and import that. Then for the other subcommand, if I just copy and paste this, remove. Now in the add subcommand options, what we want to do, first of all, let's get the target. Then the type for this wants to be user. We want required as true. Next, we just want our reason. And type a string, required as false. Now finally, put the silent subcommand in here, or silent option. Put required as false. Now the last option in this subcommand, let's just put it in between target and reason. And so for this, we want to do the length of the timeout. So set this up. Then for the type, we want string required as false. And then we want to pass in choices. And in here, I'm just going to copy and paste a list of objects. So you can just copy these or use your own values. Now for the options for the remove, let's just copy the add options because they're very similar. Get rid of the length. Now let's change the descriptions for these. And we won't need to change the silent option. So that should be it for our subcommand options. So now we can actually start making the command itself. So for the command itself, what we want to do is just do our async execute and do interaction and chat input command interaction. Then let's just define our options. So these are all the options in our add subcommand. So just copy these down so I'll just skip through them to save some time. So what we want to do next is define the millisecond length for the actual length of the timeout. So we need to use ms. And if you don't have ms installed, all you need to run in the terminal is npm ims. And then you would also want to run npm i at type/ms as well. So now for our checks for the timeout command, let's do the error bed like we've done in the other commands. So set the color to red. Now for our checks, we want to do if the target isn't in the guild. Then we want to just do error embed. Then set the description to please provide a valid user. Now let's get rid of them extra brackets. Then make sure epithermal set to true. Next, if we just copy this, what we're going to do is just check if the target ID is equal to the
interaction.userid because you don't want to be able to time out yourself. For the next check, we just want to check the role or the role positions of each of the users. So target.roles highest position is greater than or equal to interaction.member.roles. Then we're going to cast this as a guild member role manager. Close that bracket and do highest position. And then we will need a question mark there. And then if this is true, we would just want to say you cannot time out a user with equal or higher roles. And to check if the user's currently timed out already, what we want to do is target communication disabled until. Wait, yeah. It's the top one, not the timestamp one. Then we just want to check if this is not equal to null. And target.communication disabled until is greater than date.now. And then to fix this error, we just need to put new. And get rid of .now actually, because that is C# syntax. Then for the description, what we just want to do is put the target, if I can actually spell, is already timed out until, and let's just put the timestamp. Then we want the until, then to local string. Now that should be, oh, one more check is just the reason length check again, which is simple enough to do. To do it 512, then I'll just copy and paste this. Reason length cannot be greater than 112 characters. Finally, we can actually now try send the user a message to tell them that they're being timed out. So I'm just going to set the color to blue for this one. You can select whatever you want. For the description, let's do set description, and let's do this on the new line. And let's put the timeout emoji. I'm pretty sure we type in time. Yeah, there we go. So we got the time emoji. Let's say you were timed out. And now let's mention the guild. Then let's put the interaction user. If you would like to appeal, send a message to the moderator who timed you out. And let's also just put the reason. And then at the end, let's just set the image to the guild URL. So why not? Then icon URL, we don't need that dynamic option. Don't need that string, I don't know why my IntelliSense has done that. And just put exclamation mark at the back because that cannot be nullable. And then I just need to close this message off. For the catch, what we want to do is just catch, then do nothing, because if it errors, that means we can't DM the user. Now for timing out, we just want to do await target.timeout, and let's just pass in the ms length and then the reason. And in the catch, let's just return if there's an error while timing this user out. Yeah, so error embed. And let's set the description to an error code while trying to time out this user. Set this to epithermal as true. Now, once we've timed out the user, let's reply to the interaction. So create a new embed, set the color to blue like we did before. And let's set the description to timed out target for length. Yeah, there we go. Then let's make this epithet.
Now the last thing that we need to do for this command is actually send the message to the interaction channel and do the login. But to save time on this video, I'm just going to copy and paste this from the ban add command. So if I just come in here and copy and paste this. And now we just need to fix all the errors and import everything. And then now we can actually change the content. So if I just fix this formatting. So we want to send the message to the interaction channel. However, let's change this to blue. Keep the thumbnail the same. Change this to timeout with this time emoji. Set the description to reason, and instead of days, what we want to do is put when it expires. So in here we want to do our arrow brackets, do T. Then now we want to do brackets again, and date dot now plus length, ms length, sorry. Then we want to divide this by 1000, then do 2 fixed 0 because we don't want it to any decimal places. Then at the end of this, we just want to put a capital F. And then for the rest of this, let's just change the emoji to the time one again. Now for the actual moderation login, let's do the same thing. So change that to blue, change that from ban to timeout. Then we want to put the user, want to put the reason, then let's put the expires as well. But in this one, let's also put the length. Then just put the length like that. Then we want to keep the action by and the icon URL. So that should be it for this subcommand. So just to speed it up, if we just copy and paste everything in this file, and if I just fix that formatting quickly, so it's all in line. So if we just copy all the content of this file and paste it in the timeout remove, then I need to put the extra bracket there. So before we do anything, let's just fix all the imports, just to make it a bit nicer for us to look at. If you're wondering how I'm doing it fast, it's just pressing Ctrl dot and enter. So that's all that fixed now. So if we scroll to the top, so here we don't need the length and we also don't need the ms length. Now for the checks, we want to keep this check, but let's just say you cannot remove a timeout from yourself, and you cannot remove a timeout from a user with equal or higher roles. And then instead of doing this check, we want to just check if this is equal to null, because if it's equal to null, that means they're not timed out. So let's just get rid of that and say target isn't currently timed out. Then let's put some formatting on this as well. And keep the reason length check there. Now let's try send them a message. So instead of you were timed out, let's say your timeout in Interaction Guild was removed by the interaction member. then that should be in the line. Then let's just put the reason there. And let's leave it like that. So set the guild image as well. So to remove the timeout, we just want to change this length to null, then put the reason. And let's change the description if there's an error while trying to remove a timeout from this user. Please try again. Now for the reply, let's just say removed timeout for target and put the ID. Get rid of the length because we don't have length. For the interaction channel message, let's just put timeout removed, tag the user, reason, keep the reason, get rid of the expires. Then for the login, we want to get rid of the expires and length, put user, reason, and then author, let's put timeout remove. Then this should be it for the timeout command. So to test this, let's just start the bot. So npm run start. As you can see, we have an extra command now, which should be the timeout command. So if I go to Discord, if I drag it over, so now we've got the timeout add and timeout remove commands. So if we just try the add command on the bot, oh, I've already set the timeout previously. So if we just try and remove it first, so timeout remove, let's put the reason as test. There we go, it's removed the timeout for the user. So this is the interaction channel message. And the login channel still general, so it sent the login there. And then if we try and time out the user again, let's put the length to 12 hours. By the way, you can modify all these lengths by yourself. You just need to specify them in the command. These are just the default ones I put. So let's try 12 hours. Reason, test, silent as false, even though we don't have to put false. So it's timed out the user, reply to our interaction, sent a message to the channel, sent one to the logs channel. And now if I go onto my account and try and type a message. So here's the account, we're currently timed out, but then if I remove it, and now I can type again. And the bot is meant to send the account a message, but I've got the empty disabled, so it won't do anything because I'm catching it here. So it won't do anything. That's it for this tutorial, but in the next one we'll be going over a clear command. Thanks for watching.